The most phenomenal,
Testing.
Most
Hey, Corey.
extraordinary, most
Can you hear me okay?
puppet show you've ever experienced.
How you doing,
Prepare
Corey?
for an astonishing
Sorry, we're
adventure full of mystery,
sorry, we're
full of
streaming
danger, and full of
Puppeteer
artistry,
today.
meant to astound the eye and capture the
Allie
human
is
soul.
busy babysitting, so we're gonna be doing
Welcome
this
to the magical
tonight.
theater
We'll just
of
finish
the
this game up,
strange
and then
fantastic.
tomorrow we'll get back to Twilight Princess. How are you doing, Corey? I hope everything's going well.
Kutaro had decommissioned
This
Dragon.
game's lit. Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Let us continue our adventure.
Yeah, I like it. I like this game a lot. This is the final act. So
Hot
after
on
we
General
beat this,
Monkey's heels, Kutaro and Picarina stumbled into
on
a
days
steep
when Allie's not
snowy
around,
mass of
we'll
peaks
find
called
another
the
game to
Blue
stream.
Moon Mountains. The last Moonstone Shard was all Kutaro needed to free his
Sorry,
soul
I've been-
from its puppet prison and return to
I
his
haven't been
home
able to stream the
down
last
Earth.
2 days.
But our
Yesterday I saw
hero
Star
remained
Wars,
troubled as he climbed.
and when I
He
got home I
knew
was so
General
tired I
Dragon
slept for like
and
4
that
hours,
clock
and by the time I
had
woke
given
up
the
it
Moon
was
Bear King control
pretty
over
late.
every last child's soul. As Jack
Did you
Frost
watch Star Wars yet,
picked at
Corey?
the boy's fingers and toes,
I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan or not.
Suspicion was starting to tug at his heart.
Wait, Your Highness, this is all a terrible mistake. Your fur looks especially lustrous today.
Spare me the theatrics. I know exactly who you are.
Then get your grimy paws off.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab my coffee.
You thought you could pull a fast one on me, eh, Granny? But you were wrong! Once I've slapped down every last soul of every child on Earth, no moon goddess, not even the sun, will be able to stop me!
Kutaro still can. Calibros chose him for a reason. The power of the 4 champions will see him through to his final task. He's going to restore the White Moonstone and bring light back to this
Okay, I'm back.
realm, you
Not really a Star Wars person. That's
stupid
okay.
bear. I can't wait
When I was a
to
kid, I
watch
wasn't
it
a Star
from the
Wars kid either.
start.
It wasn't until I got the original trilogy on VHS, the special edition, that I was a huge Star Wars fan. Just loved it. Then when the prequels came out, I was really excited about those, but you know, looking in hindsight, they don't make a lot of sense.
Fight, you coward!
At the very first
And
glimpse of
episode
Kutaro,
1 is just
General
pretty
Monkey
bad.
ran as fast as his legs
But they're not
would take
awful.
him.
Gee, I wonder if those icicles will fall.
So this last act should be pretty long. That's why I saved it to another day and didn't complete it
What is that?
last time we were playing it because I knew it was going to be
Sure
pretty
is
long.
wobbly. I hope it doesn't collapse.
Actually, we could have used the harpoon on
I
that guy.
hate high places.
So what's been going
But
on
you
with
can
you,
fly.
Corey? Anything new? You've been playing Minish Cap or A Link to the Past?
Watch your step. We've got slippage.
Yeah, just stay calm. dear.
Damn it.
Slow and steady wins the race.
What the hell?
No, it doesn't.
After I woke up last night, I just played a lot of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Been kind of remiss on my Breath of the Wild. Officially given up on, what is that? What's Goy?
More Jedi. These guys are
More
sound
Jedi?
sleepers.
Well, who says Yeti can't hibernate?
Okay. These are like little things, okay. Oh, getting over it, okay. So, it's a little bit too hard. So, how does it work? You just get one shot at it, and if you fail, then you have to start all over again? Don't have the patience. I understand.
Woohoo! A ski jump! Cool.
Yeah,
You know, some say that
I felt the same way about Lords of the Fallen.
Form of capital punishment.
Dark Souls is harder,
Not cool.
but since well, I shouldn't speak about getting over it, but Lords of the Fallen was not fun. And since it's not fun, then I'm not as committed to beating it as I am with Dark Souls, so I gave up literally at the last boss.
You will never catch me!
With each passing moment, the Moonbear King's power increased. The mountain was a stubborn, snowy sentinel, but Kuturo forced himself to trudge
Yeah,
on.
I was pretty disappointed
He
about
had to
canceling the
complete
stream
White
yesterday.
Moonstone. He just
I felt like I
had to.
really could have streamed, but oh well. Ah, fuck. Sometimes you just don't get enough momentum to make the jump. Okay. There we go. If you fall off a really tall mountain, you have to climb that one mountain again. Oh, okay. So there's more than one mountain.
The tunnel's buried in snow. Ugh,
You're on a
darn
mobile
that
device?
monkey.
Mobile. They need to really come up with a better way for texting, you know, like... Ah, damn it. Back in the day, we had physical QWERTY keyboards on smartphones. To save space, they
General Monkey was a
removed
crafty
them,
one. He
which
knew
I
he didn't
understand,
have to
but
fight Kuturo.
touchscreens are
He already
inadequate
won, just
for
so
tactile
long as he
feedback.
kept the
Wow.
last Moonstone shard out of reach. In the end, it wasn't
They were going to
brute
come
strength
out
or
with
poison,
some
but
morphing touchscreens where the
ingenuity that was
screen
getting
will actually
Kuturo
morph and give
most
you
trouble.
some physical buttons. It's not as good as a real physical keyboard, but like the screen would actually morph and the buttons would kind of pop out from the screen. It's kind of hard to explain. They actually create prototypes of these things, and even it didn't have to be integrated directly onto the screen. It could have just been a screen protector that creates little buttons on the screen that provide tactile feedback. But for some reason, it never caught on, and I don't know why. Maybe it just didn't work as well as they hoped it would. Or maybe
As Kuturo
there's
climbed
another
higher,
reason.
the snow quickly turned to a blizzard.
It's not even mountains, some are,
Snowballs,
but
great and small,
they can
began
range from
tumbling
houses
down the
stacked on
slope.
each other
A
to
gift
kid
from
slides. Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Looks like an interesting game. I'd like to give it a shot one day. How do I get past this? There we go.
Thank you, Secret Passage. I've had enough of winter trying to kill me.
They call it a B game? Meaning it's not like a full budget game. It's just like a game that you play to kill some time, but it's not something you want to invest a ton of energy to. Just kind of like a neat game that you play once in a while. There we go.
Did we just crash Santa's secret lair?
And you probably thought Christmas trees, stockings, and presents were an Earth thing.
Hey, this is appropriate.
A world of white stretched as far as the eye could
Got
see.
a Christmas
But there
theme
was still no sign
in
of
the game,
General
and it's
Monkey.
almost Christmas. Use recycled game parts to make a new game? Recycled game parts. Do you mean... Oh, wait. Recycled from what game, though? From...
What the heck? How do we get
I'm a
up?
little confused.
General Monkey's down escalator only went in one direction. Down. Into the abyss.
Like, when you say recycled game parts, what do you mean by that? You mean like the graphics are kind of generic and are kind of like stock graphics that anyone can use? Is that what you mean? Kind of like how I've seen some indie games that all have like a very similar graphical style, so I'm assuming like the engine they use kind of gives you some preset graphics or stock art or whatever. I really have no idea. I've never made a game before, so don't know how it all works. Maybe Turkey Boy knows. Okay, this is much more difficult than it looks. Oh, man. Oh man, for fuck's sake! I'm gonna concentrate here. Oh, gee, I can't tell you how imprecise this is. This is awful. We did it. Alright, there we go. A game where they use recycled game parts. But Getting Over It is actually a remake from an early 2000s game called Sexy Hiking. Oh, really? Was it made by the same developer? I would assume there would be legal issues if it wasn't.
Is that a...
Keep it up! Don't even start. The crack's getting bigger! Almost there! Yes! Take that, popsicle!
It's strange. I wonder how they were able to get away with it from a legal point of view. I guess it's just an unofficial remake then? Like a spiritual successor, I think, is what the... It's probably a spiritual successor then, because that is legal. You can make a game that's not a true remake,
Just give up.
changes enough about the game so that it's legal, but is considered an unofficial sequel.
Kuturo followed General Monkey right into the icy maw at the mountain's peak.
Say your prayers, Eight-Face! Careful! Check it out! Not even Monkey can outrun us now! A new challenger has appeared! Don't you let him win!
Take a sip of my. Let me take a sip of my coffee. So, did you ever play Sexy Hiking? If you did, how does that game compare to Getting Over It?
That crisp start, that beautiful form. Penguins on your six! Jump! That was close. What the? Oh my gosh!
Okay. Damn it! I fucked that up.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Let's try it again. Let's try, not try it again, but let's try not to fuck up this time. Let's see.
What? Is this a team sport now? Oh, we made it! Ah!
Our heroes tumbled from the frigid peak into a scorching volcanic crater.
Extreme!
Really? So they just use assets from other games. I mean, just wondering how that all works out legally. I guess I would have to see more of the game to kind of understand it.
Ugh, finally a little peace.
It might be kind of typical for indie games, I guess. I know in like Doom mods they sometimes steal from each other, and there really isn't a lot that can be done legally. It's just considered unethical.
Lava can reach temperatures over 10 times the boiling point of water. A wooden puppet would be vaporized instantly.
Huh? Keep moving!
So like, how do you feel about them recycling the assets? I'm not sure if like you're saying that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Kutaro weaved his way through the bursts of hot magma.
It's a budget game, yeah.
I told you that thing was alive! You can't run away from us now, monkey!
Well, like you said, it's a budget title, so
I was running toward.
A rocket?
it's just not really that
You
big of
had
a deal.
secret
I mean,
rocket?
He also had a secret volcanic base designed to hide the secret rocket.
still $8 is
What
kind of a
self-respecting
lot
mad scientist would
when I think about it, because I actually paid $5 for both Borderlands 1 and 2 with all the DLC and a bunch of other indie games. And you can get Assassin's Creed Black Flag for free, so
We're stuck here forever.
I guess compared to those, yeah,
Can I play?
Do we
it's a
look
little
like
expensive
we're playing?
compared to that.
Wait, Yin Yang, how'd you get up here?
It's the Steam sales.
Forget that.
They're great.
The witch has been snatched by the Moon Bear King. You have to save her.
They can give you the game for free?
You're kidding, right?
Legally or illegally?
Why would we? She was gunning for the Moonstone right from the start. At least now, she won't get in the way of reviving the goddess and sending Kataro home.
You know, I think you're missing the litter box for the droppings.
Hey, we've got two things to worry about. An ugly monkey and the Moonstone.
Yeah, I
Is the
wonder
witch
exactly
on our
what,
list? No! Now help us!
Oh, hey, Sean. What is the reason? I wonder if by recycled parts that they found, like, do they just kind of go on Google Images and find artwork there and just kind of use it?
I'll pick.
Oh, illegally? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of common on the internet.
Can't do outer space without a flying saucer. Gotcha now, monkey. We'll chase you out to the ends of the universe.
Good for you. I think this calls for a very special reward.
Octopuses! Space octopuses!
Actually, they're Martians.
Oh, why did I do that?
Why are we always surrounded by ugly people?
On behalf of the Magical Theatre,
The game
I would
sucks.
just like to apologize to all our guests for that completely inappropriate comment.
I can't speak for it personally because I never played it.
Reached the asteroid
The Assassin's Creed games look interesting to me at the very
belt.
least.
Isn't it supposed to be between Mars and Jupiter?
I think I recall Churka saying that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is his favorite Assassin's Creed game. So I guess he'd have to challenge you on the quality of the game there. But since I never played it, I can't speak about it.
There are no ups and downs in outer space, only gravity. You might even say there's no such thing as left, right, forwards, backwards, yesterday, or indeed tomorrow.
It's squid! Martian squid!
No. Octopi are from Mars.
Gonna have to
Squid
concentrate.
are from Venus. Welcome to the warp zone.
Whoa! So dramatic.
Okay. Kevin Federline?
When Kuturo and Picarina were done,
I'm not familiar with Kevin Federline. The name sort of sounds familiar.
Spaceship graveyard. These marvels of science and intellect had been mangled by destiny into mere shadows of their former glory.
The game's impossible.
More Martian and Venus or Venusian. Even their name is ugly.
I mean, you recommended I should get it.
Have some compassion.
Are you withdrawing that recommendation, or do you think I should still get it?
Space-time continuum probably bent just to avoid touching them.
Whoa! Okay.
Wait, so down is up and up is down. Aren't we gonna confuse the audience like this?
All of our honored guests are encouraged to sit upside down as required to follow along. Warp engaged!
The first 4 Assassin's Creed games were good.
We have to do the gravity thing while warping? Man, I hate space!
It's getting tough. But this part's pretty cool, actually.
This asteroid belt shall become the belt of your graves.
Is the monkey too scared to stand and fight?
Sean, did you see Star Wars yet? I saw Star Wars yesterday.
Okay, we're almost caught up.
Lovely gamer saw it. She's gonna see it tonight. I think tomorrow too.
This rock looks like a UFO.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression that there are too many Assassin's Creed games. Gonna see it tomorrow. I loved it. I know that some fans are angered, but they're pussies. I'm glad that they did what they did. Hey, look, it's Turkey Boy. So Turkey Boy can now speak for himself. Sean was just telling me that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is not good, but I said that Churka likes Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Look, Kataro.
Are you
The stars
ready
are
to
on our
defend
side.
the quality of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Churka?
Someone's locked on to you. It's okay, Scorpio. Let that aggression out.
Scorpio's rocking the scissors too.
Playing it right now, Speak of the Devil. Is it like an open world game? Or is it linear? Oh, whoa.
Look, more constellations.
There's There's no shame in going in circles, Cancer. Heads up, Virgo! Explosive developments await. Now's your chance, Leo. Go ahead and pounce that boy.
No, I said episode 2 and 3 I like. Episode 1 I don't like. Remember, prequels includes all 3. But with that said, they don't make sense. But it's kind of it's actually kind of the fault of episode 5 why they're not good. Well, why they don't make sense, but it also has to do with George Lucas. As a bigger part to do. Oh shit. Bigger part to do with George Lucas. Like the thing is, like when you say I like them, there's a difference between like and love. I still like them for entertainment value, but you know, like there you can. It's not like a dichotomy where it's.
Into the line, chimp.
I think it's like the greatest thing ever. But I will say that episode 8
Look, Kataro.
is one of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen. In fact, I think it's better than episode 7. And so I can say this much. If you liked episode 7, you'll like episode 8.
Scorpio's rocking the scissors
If you
too.
didn't like episode 7, you're not going to like episode 8. There's nothing that's going to sway you or change your mind there. Hey, X-Infected. I could do a whole big rant about why the prequels don't make sense.
Look, more constellations.
There's no shame in going in
A lot of people have
circles.
picked them apart, but there's still things that I can add that can explain why they don't make sense. I'll just give you one little thing that doesn't make sense. So they're trying to hide Luke Skywalker and Leia from Darth Vader, right? So Darth Vader's original name was Anakin Skywalker. How does it make any sense to call his son Luke Skywalker, give him the same exact last name? How does it make sense to hide him on the planet that Anakin is actually from? How does it make sense to hide him with his stepbrother that he knows exists? Those are just some of the things that don't make sense.
Now, Kataro, finish it.
When did I spoil the new Star Wars? I wasn't planning on spoiling the new Star Wars. I'm talking about the prequels.
Go on, Tyson. Dare to be twisted.
Shit. I'm not an asshole, Churchill. You don't even need to tell me that. I would never spoil it. Oh, why do I keep doing that?
Simpletons, the monkey gloves are off.
Look, Kataro, the stars are on
Watch
our
that
side.
heat signature,
Cut it back.
Aries. Someone's locked onto you. It's okay, Scorpio.
There's some people that get their
Scorpio's rocking the scissors too.
get their yucks off spoiling things for people. I'm not one of those people. I remember once, like, I heard a report about some assholes driving by, like, a bookstore that was open at 12 a.m. and spoiling the newest Harry Potter book. Like, it's funny to hear about it, but it's not funny if you're in that situation.
Look,
Episode 1 is your favorite? Episode 1 was so boring for me.
Cancer.
Yeah, I know the romance in episode 2 was terrible.
Heads up, Virgo.
You know, they could have rectified that pretty easily just by starting episode 1 with Anakin already as an adult and with a girl. It doesn't even need to be Padme, the girl that would later become the parent, the mother of Leia and Luke. Like, if George Lucas does not know how to do a good love story, which he does, because he did it in Episode 5. But then again, he had people criticizing him back then. That's why the original trilogy is better, because he had people helping him and telling him what works and what doesn't work. Whereas with the prequels, he had no one criticizing him. That's generally believed why the prequels are not well received.
When life gets hard, Capricorn, remember to cut yourself a break. Keep it real, Sagittarius, because he's about to fall for your arrows today.
The engine!
It's all over, monkey.
Now, where did I leave off? All right, Taurus.
We're done.
Drive past the Star Trek convention and yell Star Wars sucks. I mean, they probably agree with you. Most Trekkies... I mean, Trekkies tend to not like Star Wars, and Star Wars fans tend to not like Star Trek.
Daddy!
Hickorita!
Thanks, Daddy. You saved our butts.
Butts is not princess talk, young lady. Look at you, my only child, a pixie. Don't worry, I love you all the same.
It was the moon bear.
Bad monkey!
He cast a spell?
I told you to let the moon work out its own.
But yeah, I loved Star Wars Episode 8.
Okay, no.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's better than Star Wars Episode 7. And I'll reiterate,
He's been so sweet to me,
if you liked Episode 7, you'll love Episode 8. If you didn't like Episode 7, you won't like Episode 8, probably.
Never turn your back on the shadows. But no, I want to balance. Life
They do say that,
equal
but
shares.
it's not.
Yeah, that
you
works.
know? But Daddy, me
Um,
and Taro have worked
I can
so
point out like
hard to find the
a
moon
million
stone.
things that are inaccurate about Star
Glad to
Trek.
miss you, sweetie. Not fair to pin it
Not the
on
least of
one
which is
kid.
faster than light travel is impossible.
I know.
So,
Tell you what, I'll go have a word with this moon bear, rough him up a little, then save the goddess. How's that?
yeah, they do
Sound
say that.
good?
Oh, Daddy,
I remember
that's solar.
Luke's ex-boyfriend. He said, "Oh yeah, I like Star Trek more because it's more realistic." Bullshit.
Daddy?
We'll find another moon, honey.
Well, you're no help. Fine.
They have
We'll take
artificial
care of it.
gravity,
Come on,
anti-gravity,
Taro.
teleportation.
Found courage. Kuturo and
Yeah, so
Hickorita
much science
descended
there.
from the brilliant center of the galaxy to once again face the dark terrors of the moon.
They have teleporters. Why don't they teleport their bombs inside the enemy ship? They can't do that. They can even teleport onto ships that are moving at light speed. Why can't they teleport
With the
bombs?
help of Calibros, Kuturo defeated
Inside of the enemy
menace
ships.
and saved the souls of a lucky
know?
few.
That's your weapon right there.
Kuturo, the souls he freed were homeward bound.
That's the problem with like super duper advanced technology like teleportation, because then it leads to unintended consequences up the
Kuturo had
ass.
finally obtained the last piece of the moonstone.
It's like we got energy
but did he stand
shields,
any chance
which is
against
also
a tyrant
unrealistic.
More powerful?
Okay,
And so the
Well, why don't you
story
just
continues.
teleport? A bomb inside of the shield. We didn't think about that.
Well, Kuturo's re-lunization kicked off with a horrific sight. The beautiful Castle Waxwain had been bound curtain and keep by Castle Grizzlestein's vile vines, anchored to the moon like a swan
Yeah.
in the death squeeze
And
of
then
1,000 vipers.
They were
Even
trying to
now,
destroy a
an army
planet,
of
I think, in the
grubs was
first
making
remake
ready
Star
to
Trek
storm
movie.
The goddess's Argent Palace and bring
I
it
forget
down.
exactly what they're doing. They're like drilling into the planet to destroy it, I think.
Thanks to their convenient solar staircase.
Why
Kuturo
don't you
and
just
Hickorita
drop
were back on
an
moon
asteroid
soil.
on the planet? Wouldn't that also destroy it?
Castle.
Especially if
We won't be
you
able to hold
just...
out much longer.
Actually, yeah,
We need
that would
to
do it.
revive the goddess, like right now. So, any ideas? You think we need some kind
Yeah,
of lunar
yeah, that's
superglue?
what I'm saying, yeah.
The only thing I like better than power.
Why did the shields need to be down in order to teleport? I mean, in the first Star Trek remake movie, you can teleport onto a ship with its shields up, and it's moving at light speed.
Kuturo! You have
Did you procure the last moonstone shard?
Of course. But I wish these things
Makes
came with
things
an
really
instruction
convenient for
manual.
them, but it
What
leads to
for?
so many
It
unintended
written in
consequences.
your language anyway. Just get to the palace before it collapses. It's our only hope.
The moment of
But that's
truth was
inconsistent with the
upon.
first
Would they
movie,
manage
though,
to unhunt
because
the
they're able to
undivided
teleport
wisdom?
onto a ship
And
moving
would
at
the goddess really
at
return?
hyper speed or whatever the hell it is, and its shields are up. I remember. I mean, I don't know how the original TV show worked, and you could say, well, the physics are different, but
Kuturo and Picorina
Leonard
had reached
Nimoy was in the
roots of
in the
vile
remake,
vines
so
entangling the
apparently,
White
like,
Castle.
the physics should
We're
still be the
just gonna
same,
have
or
to
the I
trust
guess the
Amy
logic.
And get inside the White Castle. Cut a path up along that gas coming out of the vines.
The duo climbed as fast as they could. They had to reach Waxwayne before it collapsed. Oh, the monstrous vines blocked Kuturo's every move, as if they had a will of their own.
Damn it. There we go.
We're losing precious time. Come on, Kataro. Watch it. These guys are playing dirty.
Oops. Shit. Okay. There we go.
It's back! The MBK-21 Lunar Striker, a.k.a. the Bear Striker. Oh, would you look at that mobility? Those supple wings, the beauty of...
Get a room with it, why don't you? We're trying to shoot it down.
You see a work of
There
art,
we
and all you think of the death ray dealing foul flowers were clad in armor as thick as a Kuma 1 tank.
Foul flowers? So that's what they're
Okay,
called.
good.
Why'd you wait to the end of the story to tell us? Hey, check it out! That's the White Castle just above us. We're almost there.
None of them make sense. Are you telling me that the original Star Trek films and TV shows, they made sense? Teleportation in general doesn't make
Look
sense.
at that, perfect formation. Ah, here come the Puppeteer.
Oh, that's great. We're gonna need every tool in the box.
CQ, Kuturo. Proceed to point whiskey on the double. Over.
Roger that, weirdo.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm sure if I looked at the movie again, I can find like a million other things that don't make sense. I can't speak about... Oh, here's another thing that doesn't make sense now that I think about it. They don't want to interfere in the development of primitive species. That also doesn't make sense. They want to hide themselves from primitive species. That's basically like having the resources to save Africa from hunger,
What is wrong with you?
but choosing not to
Can't
do
we
it
just peek? Maybe
because
could
you think
fly
it's
to the
wrong.
White Castle.
Oh, fine. Just a peek, though.
That makes no sense.
At last,
And I know that was in the
Kuturo had
original
reached
TV
the
show
base
as
of
well.
the White Castle. But how much castle was left?
It's like we have all the food and the ability to distribute
The
that
vile
food
minds have wormed their way deep into
to
the
save
halls
people
of
from
wax
starving in
trade.
Africa. But hey, you know what? It's immoral
Just make a
to
break for the top. We have to put
do
the
that
moonstone back together.
because you got to do it on your own. So we're not going to interfere. Yeah, that makes no sense.
All at once, the moonstone shone.
Exactly how we do it.
Maybe we're supposed to plug them in like
People
this.
do starve.
Okay, let's do the other 11.
In all fairness, though, there is an issue of food distribution that is a problem. Because, yeah, we do make enough money. Excuse me, we do grow enough food to feed the entire planet. However, the means to distribute that food
One sandwich
is still
coming
lacking.
right up.
But certainly in the Star Trek universe, they don't have that problem. I mean, after all, they have teleportation, right? You don't need trains or
That's nasty.
trucks
Get rid of it.
when you can teleport everything.
There, we lit up another shard.
No! Okay. Yeah, as we progress towards the future, food distribution will be a more viable thing. Well, well, if you give out technology to all the civilizations they come across, then they would be equal. And so what if one has an advantage over the other,
Hey, I want a lollipop.
right? And it's not like you're selling them weapons. Like you could sell them basic you could not sell them, you could just give them the means to grow food easily. You could give them teleporters. You could give them clean and abundant energy. I mean, like, it just seems like such a bad reason that makes no sense. Like I said, it's kind of like not helping Africa when you can help Africa,
Lines are in the way.
because you
We'll
might
have
give an
to take
advantage to one African country over the other, you know, like, what does that matter? If you can help people stop them from starving, it's not like you're giving them weapons. What the hell? Windows Defender. What is this? Why can't I get this? Well then, if they do wage war, then you would destroy them, right? I mean, like, it turns into a catch-22 to me. Like, I don't buy that premise in the first place. You're basically denying them food, which is unethical. But if they were a threat, the Federation's supposed to be powerful enough to destroy them anyway. So, like, what would make more sense is just to have equitable trade, or... That's a bad analogy, though, because we're talking about very primitive civilizations that Like that's not a proper analogy,
If the lady
right?
in green wishes to
Because we're
dance,
talking about primitive
allow me to
civilizations
come in.
that aren't a threat, whereas Hitler and Napoleon are threats. They were threats. They were comparable threats. Like, we're not talking about giving food to their enemies, which are, what are the Borg or whatever?
Moving
I
on.
don't know if the Klingons are, or Romulans. That's one thing, and I can understand that, but not giving food to a primitive tribe that is struggling to survive anyway, or refusing to give them abundant energy that's clean. Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't think that makes sense, especially when you have an abundance of this and the capability. You have the capability to help the civilization, but you're choosing not to anyway. Whoops.
Okay, that takes care of all of them. The castle's much brighter now, but it didn't fix the moonstone.
Yeah.
Whack.
A baby dragon. Whoa, call the orthodontist.
Like, the food thing only makes sense when you're trying to defeat a country. So, like, if you're trying to defeat a country,
Oh, what now?
yeah, destroying their ability to make food is a good way to demoralize the enemy and coerce them to surrender. But to do it to a primitive tribe
Think we? Yeah.
that
You like that?
you aren't at war with, when they're starving to death,
I think we found our.
that's
problem.
immoral.
Let's go take it down.
Especially when you have the ability to give them food, or the means to give them sustainable food.
Valiantly, Kuturo traced the bile lines to their roots at the heart of the castle.
This is just plain nasty.
Anyone can grow vile vines at home. Just leave them in dark places with plenty of moisture and foul odor.
What? We're trapped. The floor's wobbly. Maybe you can slam right through.
How can they? Because let's say that the tribe is on another planet, and they don't have interstellar travel, and you're not giving them interstellar travel, although I don't see why you wouldn't give them that either, because then they would cooperate with the Federation. They would be inducted into the Federation at that point. Ah, fuck. Like, it's such faulty reasoning. Okay, let's say like I don't see how giving them food and the means to make food abundantly makes them a threat to another primitive tribe on another planet. Maybe they might be a threat to another primitive tribe on their own planet, but then wouldn't you mediate that? Wouldn't you just settle that dispute yourself? And if they try to do that, you would fight them and show them who's boss? And if they did do that, then you wouldn't help them anymore either, right? I mean, you can also do that.
You need to take special care.
Like, why assume what they're gonna do before they have done it?
Scissors, for example, would be most.
What if they have no intention of doing that? And you're denying them food aid anyway? That's punishing them for a crime that they didn't commit. Hold on. I need to drink my coffee. You know? Like, I mean, the real issue, though, is them keeping themselves a secret, period. Like, we can get into, like, the nitty-gritty about what they should do once they're known. But I think at least you should agree that there's no logic behind keeping themselves a secret, period.
At least until the vile vines got to it and turned it into the most depressing amusement park ever.
Let's take him out and play on the merry-go-round, please.
Nice. Galactic Civilizations 3. Never played that one before.
Trapped again!
Oh boy. Okay, good. There we go, good. There we go.
This column looks all busted up.
Oh no. There we go. Yeah, there's some pretty good videos on YouTube which actually examines this topic about whether or not we should help alien civilizations and uplift them.
Fortunately, vile vines are able to regenerate as long as one of them
And
remains
the
in
guy, the author,
So if
he
you
basically
love
makes
your
the same
vile
argument I
vines,
do.
make absolutely certain
I'll
not
post it
to
on
damage
Discord
the
later.
other bulb.
That keeping yourself a secret and not helping other races when you absolutely can isn't logical. Like, I can understand it from a military point of view if, like, for whatever reason you just want to kill them. But if we're actually about helping other civilizations, then it doesn't make sense. I was under the impression that the Federation was supposed to be good. This kind of sucks. No. Whoa. This is so annoying. Damn it. Oh, I think I know. Wait, hold on. Or not, wait. It's not pointing the right direction. Hold on. This part's really annoying. Hey, Mexican. Actually, I never saw any anything other than the remakes for Star Trek. I only saw the remake movies. Okay, there we go. What happens in that episode? Okay, I think it's going in an order. Let me just see. Okay, it's gonna go from left to right. There we go. You're so cold? I'm a little cold too. It's a little brisk. How do I kill this guy? They think Picard is God? Okay. Well, so what? What's wrong with that?
Next up, how to weed your garden. Step 1, ready scissors. Step 2, cut that vine's bulbs off. Can we play on the merry-go-round?
Also, I'm not really convinced that an alien civilization would necessarily believe in God. I mean, humans believe in God, but why do we assume that aliens have the same kind of irrational thinking that we do? I've often thought about why different civilizations arrive at this conclusion that about a God.
These eyeballs don't get any prettier the second time
It could
around.
very much be just a human irrationality,
Stop! Stop!
rather than something that some kind of civilization would naturally come to. Yeah, Allie's not here tonight. She's babysitting tonight, so we'll be doing Twilight Princess tomorrow, I promise. Oh! It's like weird, like in science fiction, they often depict aliens as kind of like religious zealots. Like in StarCraft, the Protoss are religious zealots. No, the religious zealots are humans. Humans are the ones that believe in this irrational shit. In Halo, the Covenant, they're religious fanatics. It's like we like to project our irrationality onto aliens all the time.
Man, this thing sure puts up a fight when its bulbs are on the line. Now move in for the kill.
Okay, thank you, Sean. You're a big tricky churka? Oh shit. Wasn't paying attention. Please let this be over soon.
One mighty
Last, the vile vines, lord of all
I think that's
things
it.
botanical, have been vanquished by Puppeteer. The Moonstone's big moment has just arrived. Despite the Moonbear King's countless schemes, the Moonstone was about to be made whole again.
Kataro!
white moonstone's pure light was restored, and it rained down upon the moon as power surged back into Castle Waxway. And there was hope.
What's happening to me? Did Kutaro finally... Wait! I remember now! It's me! I am... My lovely little bear, I have returned, and your machinations must be stopped. The balance must be restored.
You wish.
Ah! Let me out of here! No! I command
Did you watch the new series, Chertka?
Mirror, mirror.
There's a new
Who's
series.
the toughest guy of all?
Is it any good? I'm assuming you've seen it.
Kutaro!
What's new with you, Mexican? How are you doing? How's the
With the help
cannabis
of Caliburus, Kutaro
business?
defeated the
Are you
menace
back to
and
selling
saved the souls of a
cannabis, or
battered
you
few.
taking a break from that?
Well done, Kutaro. The souls he freed were homeward bound.
Yeah, if you're looking for,
With the future
no
of
matter
Earth
what,
and
all
Moon
science
hanging in
fiction's
the
gonna have
balance,
some
Castle Black
unrealism.
loomed larger than ever. Now back to
Some things are
Kutaro's
going to be
day.
more unrealistic than others. Of course, Star Wars and Star Trek are probably the most unrealistic.
Ah, fate. As the
Some of the
forces
newer
light
movies
and
like The
darkness
Martian,
said,
Gravity,
Marco, what could the moon say?
they're more
But
realistic.
Polar,
Interstellar is
bitter
kind
struggle
of
for
realistic,
power
except
between
the whole
shimmering
fashion
Castle
light thing is
Waxway
totally
and the
unrealistic.
shadowy Castle Grizzlestein
But at
had
least they're
reached that
consistent with
healthy
time
bond.
dilation.
Hero and Tyrant would soon have their
Gonna be
final showdown.
making cooking
At
vlogs.
stake were not just one boy's fate, but the
I thought you were
fate
gonna
of
do
the whole
rap.
moon
You
and
went
the
from
Earth
rap to
and
cooking?
The sun and
It's
galaxy
crazy.
and, well, let's just say he better not mess up. Now it just so happens, Kutaro and Pipperina weren't the only ones who had refused to give up on the White Castle.
A battle be brewing, me hearties! Man the long toms! Raise those mizzen masts! Look alive, me buckos! There be no
That's a good
victory
idea.
babies now.
That way you
Aim
can
for
watch
Black
the entire
Castle.
season in a
Where
single
be
sitting.
my coxswain?
That's always pretty fun. Because you don't want to wait
Yin-yang,
like a whole week
faster, Put your back in it!
to watch the next episode. That's so annoying. Especially when you're hooked.
Me buxom beauty Esma Potts has need of her able seamen. Fire! Fire!
Thanks to Kutaro, the White Castle
So
had
you
been
preferred
restored.
German
Now
dubbing?
the stage was set for their
What
epic
about German
clash
subtitles?
with
Isn't that
Castle
more
Grizzlestein.
authentic? I mean, that's how I feel when I watch Japanese anime. I
Blimey,
prefer
that firepower!
just subtitles.
Kutaro, me lad! Why haven't you stormed the enemy vessel?
So don't their like lips move when they're like saying the wrong words and stuff?
We'll do it, since you're obviously not gonna.
Handsomely now. Trajectory locked. Fire!
Shit. What happened? I wasn't paying
Sail
attention.
straight and true, me lad.
Hey, maybe I should pay attention. I'm trying to read what Mexican's saying.
The moon needs you, me bucko.
Hold on, let me get through this first, Mexican. Then I'll read what you said. Okay. Didn't get much views on the rap
Kutaro
stuff? Oh, okay.
busted right into the Black Castle's drive chamber. Destroying this section ought to stop Grizzlestein in its tracks.
So the cooking videos are what gets the views, not the rap videos. It's crazy. It's kind of funny how like your rap videos don't get views, but the cooking videos do.
What?
Whoa.
We're trapped! There must be a way out.
So love the way you cook. The universe will speak German? Is that what you... So you want German to become a worldwide language, Chertka? You want Germany to... So I'm curious, Chertka, do you want Germany to become a world superpower again?
Was the castle itself resisting them?
Is that what you want? You want Germany to rise again?
What's the hold up, lad?
Okay,
We
makes sense.
can't take much more of this.
You can also post it
It's not our
on my
fault we're
Discord,
stuck at a stoplight.
but I think Discord isn't working for you or something. Why do I hate those things. I hate those
If we can
things.
take out that humongous gear.
Yes, there was, Sean. German's too hard to learn.
There! If we can take out that humongous gear.
Oh boy.
Kuturo cut his way toward the main shaft. He had to
Chertka,
destroy
can you
this
tell the
massive
difference
gear
between an
and
Austrian
bring the
accent and a
castle to
German accent?
screeching halt.
You did it! Let's see this overblown fortress try and move now.
Well done, me bucko. I knew you had it in you.
But there was no time to celebrate.
Trajectory locked. Fire!
America was very close to
Off
speaking
far
German.
blasted toward his grisly, grisly
mean?
target.
I don't follow Chertka. What are you referring to specifically?
That smokestack looks like a way in.
And sure enough, the smokestack led right into the engine. It took the fire and brimstone sort of fire to keep this castle stoked. Kuturo jumped over to the cylinders and cut through the belches of smoke.
Whoa! Oh man, I missed. Okay, why the fuck did I do that? There had been a vote for the language. Yeah, I mean, actually, technically, America doesn't have an official language, believe it or not. Oh shit. Yeah, like English, you would think English is the official language of America, but it's actually not. I mean, it probably should be.
But there was no time to celebrate.
Trajectory locked. Fire!
Fuck's sake.
And off our hero blasted toward his grisly, grisly target.
That smokestack looks like a way in.
And sure enough,
I think
the
Spanish is
smokestack led
probably
right
the
into
second most spoken language in America, probably.
It took the fire and brimstone sort of fire to keep this castle stoked.
I don't mind English being the official language because, I mean, it just makes sense.
Kutaro jumped over to the cylinders and cut through the
But
belches
yeah.
of smoke.
Sean is right. It's very hard to get through this part.
Are those grubs hanging there? Correction.
Well, you know, the thing about world language at this point is that
The Black Castle.
it's gonna
used
be
trumpets
decided. I mean,
to
it's kind of
transport
already
food.
decided because of the internet. So, you know, one of those. This is one of those things that's you don't need like a vote on it in order to know what direction the wind is blowing, so to speak. Alright, how do we get through this? We just follow through. Right here, yeah.
Kutaro slid down the trolley rails. And narrowly avoided a messy accident.
Probably, yeah. Some more languages will go extinct as time goes on.
We've got company! Hurry!
Of course, languages will still be spoken at home. People who preserve the old ways.
A makeshift barricade? Like that'll save him! Oh man, I am roasting! Didn't we burn enough calories in Act 5?
Kutaro had finally reached the heart of Castle Grizzlestar.
Ow! I got it! Chuck a bomb in when the door opens!
This is tricky. Oh, I know.
I
Come
got
on.
it! Chuck a bomb in when the door
Just-
opens!
It's too tough. It's too fucking tough. How do you throw it in, though? I mean, there's no...
I got it! Chuck a bomb in when the door opens!
kernel of truth behind this is of the legend and the vote in 1794. Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Ouch! Oh, don't get too close! Slick. I got it! Chuck a bomb in when the door opens!
Reminds you of Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah, me too. I didn't like those movies though. I saw the first one, I didn't like it. My ex-girlfriend made me watch the second one. It was just fun watching it with her, but I didn't really like it. And I died. Right when I won. Ugh.
Oh, man.
Is that the reason,
I am
Sean?
roasting. Didn't we burn enough calories in Act 5?
Kutaro had finally reached the heart of Castle Prison Style.
Oh, don't get too close.
There we go.
Nice. I got it.
It's too hard to throw the bombs in there because the bomb has terrible range. See, like, it has a very odd trajectory that it wants to go in.
I got it. Chuck a bomb in when the door opens.
Loved all the action. I don't know, for some reason it was just so boring to me. Guess I'm not much of a pirate fan. Ah! For fuck's sake.
I got it. Chuck a bomb in when the door opens.
Oh, really? Never met an Austrian in your life, huh, Churka? Okay, I think that did it.
As my pots, me sweet, see how me cannons blast for the head.
Just break, you stupid castle!
Patience, love. Kutaro will save ye. Aye.
Save your own dang witch! Crawl into a cannon and go... Ah! Look out for the thunder clouds! They'll sizzle us in a second!
Kutaro blasted out of yet another cannon toward
I'm
his
sure that
third
if
Black Castle
Hitler
invasion.
won the war, he would
was
have
starting to feel right at home.
he would have made them one country eventually. Yeah, Austrian, not Australian. Austrian.
Save your own dang witch! Crawl in... Ah!
Everyone who's not from your country of origin is gonna have an accent. Like if I try to speak German,
Look out for the thunder clouds!
you can bet I'm gonna have a
They'll
thick
sizzle us in a
accent.
second.
That's why I always say, you know, if you want to know what your accent is, try speak another language.
Kutaro blasted out of yet another cannon toward his third Black Castle invasion. He was starting to feel right at home.
What's this painting on the wall? A grub? A conveyor belt! Keep moving or it'll carry you away!
They have a dialect. They're always bored and don't give a shit. Arnold Schwarzenegger is
Enabled the Black Castle
Austrian,
to
so
auto-reload
Arnold Schwarzenegger has that like bored
No wonder they're able to keep
dialect.
pounding us.
So to you, like he just doesn't feel like anything, doesn't give a shit. Yeah, fuck it, we're gonna have to go. can always count on Zax to talk about space stuff when we're talking about... Like, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Like, right now we're talking about Austria and dialects and language, and then Zax just pops in with something about astronomy. What are you asking, Zax? The surface of a star? Is the surface of a star soft, semi-solid? No, it's a plasma. So it's gonna behave like a fluid. You can always count on Zax to talk about space stuff when we're talking about anything else. We could be talking about video games, Austria, Germany. We could be talking about science fiction. We could be talking about Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, and then Zax just comes in with like something about space. Do you watch Star Trek, Zax? We were talking about Star Trek. I mean, at least that's kind of space related. Me too, Jerka, me too. I tried to learn Japanese. It's hard. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. And the cutscene's what killed me. No. Potential, if the ship is heat resistant enough, it could actually scoop up star material.
Here would blow the whole castle sky high.
The plasma is diffuse. It behaves like a fluid. This is tough. For fuck's sake.
Stay calm and dodge the bomb. Oh, yes! Okay, now run! We're gonna get caught in the blast!
The Black Castle was just a sneeze away from a massive explosion. Were Kotaro and Picorino going to make it?
It's right on top of us! Go, go, go! I see the exit! You can do it!
Woo!
Between Castle Waxwane's fuselage and Kotaro's own efforts, the Black Castle had finally screeched to a halt. Its ramparts ruptured and baileys blazed, and the victors' cheering echoed through its dying hall.
Whoa! Hold on! The Moonbear King is still in there! We have to finish him off or the children will never get their souls back. And Taro, neither will you!
So you destroyed my castle.
It depends on how deep you go,
Who needs a
Zax.
castle when
You
I'm
have to,
already invincible?
in order for the hydrogen to become dense,
You are in no position to pity me.
so that it becomes metallic, you have to go very deep inside of the
And what does
planet.
that achieve? It won't fill
But
the
on the outer
emptiness
layers,
in
it
your heart.
obviously is just
You
a
have no
gas.
friends you trust, no family to love, no subjects who love you back. You're still just the lonely little bear you've always been. Power changes nothing.
I don't need love. My subjects and soldiers, and the people of the moon, and the children of the earth, serve just one purpose.
So no, it wouldn't be the same. Plasma
Hunger.
on the outer layers of the sun, it behaves like a fluid, like I said. The whole thing is
That's cheating!
basically like a
Kotaro had done
giant
lot of growing
bowl
up
of
during
soup.
his journey, but the tyrant had just one-upped him in a big way. And unfortunately, 'tis mathematically proven that nastiness is directly
Convection
proportional
causes
to
it
body mass.
to be dispersed.
Once again, the Moonbear King loomed before our hero. His sheer size alone puts small mountains to shame.
I'll devour the whole moon, if that's what it takes to get rid of you worms!
How are we supposed to face him like this?
Oh, I see.
Roar! Up!
It worked! A little.
Why, you?
Did you see the bottoms of his feet? Hit back with a ball. Okay, now get his flat foot.
Gotcha! Come out! Come out! Wherever you are!
Yes, yes,
You brat! Aha!
You getting a panic attack from drinking too much caffeine? How many monsters did you drink?
The boy was a whirlwind, and at last, the tyrant bent the knee.
Try Calibrus on for size, you monster!
4. Yeah. Probably
This proves nothing!
want to reduce that to at least 2.
Of all the universe!
That's it, Katara!
In all fairness, though,
We have to free all the
most energy drinks don't have more caffeine in it than your average cup of coffee. But you don't want to drink 4 cups of coffee a day either.
You're finished! Cheeky little whelp! Admit it! You've lost! Gotcha! I know what you're thinking, but it won't work!
Actually, I'm pretty sure it will.
I won't leave any shoulders for a head to sit on!
For fuck's sake!
Well, smash you to admit it!
For fuck's sake, man! Holy crap! This thing is insane. This might be the final boss, I'm not sure.
You pipsqueak! What are you doing? Stop this at once!
Okay.
The quote-unquote all-powerful tyrant was getting taken apart at the seams by Calibrus. Soul after soul slipped out of his stomach.
2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2.
No, the extended universe is non-canon, so if they make new movies, it won't be extended universe.
I'll devour everything!
But I say bring it on. I have no problem with that. With more movies, a new trilogy, one after the sequel trilogy. That sounds good to me. I was wondering that myself, actually, Churka. I don't know.
Admit it! You've lost!
Yeah, at this point, I lost. I lost.
Well, you give up?
No, not until I devour everything! So long!
Cut through the plumes of smoke to go down, Kataro, and watch out for the rebels! Go down, Kataro! You've got to be careful! The red ones are so hot!
Alright.
I'll curse you! I can't... I hate you! Ah!
Oh, man! I think he's gonna cry.
The tyrant was in tatters. He hardly looked like a king at all now.
You... You wait. I can't have the universe. Or even...
Still not over yet.
Then at least...
This is the final boss.
I'll destroy you!
Careful! He's desperate!
Take this!
Damn it! Hold on, hold on. Can't beat this when my ear's tickling. Is this the Russian bear? This is the bear that's been throughout the whole game.
Why?
My ear. It's the last cycle, I think. Probably not, Churtka. He didn't like Force Awakens, and he was bitching so much because he was jealous. But he did like Rogue One. But basically, George Lucas is very bitter about how people don't like the prequel movies. He has no one but himself to blame for that. Hey, turns out Disney saved Star Wars. George Lucas is an incompetent jackass. What can I say? He is. He really is. When is this gonna end? Okay, there we go.
Adios, Cubby.
He shouldn't be jealous, but he is. Because they don't like it.
It's not over.
People have made fun of the prequels now more than ever.
Finish him!
I posted a video on Discord where GameSpot is making fun of the prequels. Like, I like 2 of the prequel movies, but I have to admit it's funny making fun of the prequel movies. Hey, Neil! Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has consumed you. Yeah, I saw an update you made on Twitter about getting that game. I streamed the first game. I can't remember if you were there for that at all. And I liked it. I didn't like the story too much, but the gameplay was great. It's also a really, really long game. Oh, you're around for bits and pieces. Okay.
Well, what the heck did you want? I hope it was worth it!
Yeah, the second game critically didn't get as good reviews as the first game. But I'm sure it's still great, and I will get it eventually.
Oh, yes!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from a gameplay point of view, it's a lot of fun. Probably the best combat in a JRPG that I've
Got
played.
it! Oh, I'm so glad you're safe!
Thank you, Kotaro. You were very brave.
Ah!
Ahoy! Where be me fair Esma?
There's also a game
Right
called
here,
Xenoblade
Romeo.
Chronicles X that was released on the Wii U. I have that, but I haven't played
The
it yet.
Moon Witch, Esma
one day I
Fox,
will stream
is
it.
really the Moon Goddess. Didn't we go over this?
No, you mangy feline, we didn't!
Well,
Me
it's
too,
your
Churka, me
fault
too.
for not asking.
When the Moonstone was shattered, my memories and powers were jumbled, and I was transformed. Captain Gaff, I shall never forget your kind attentions.
Soften me timber.
I'm glad you like it,
One
Neil.
perfect beauty in this hideous world. Gone.
Yeah, it looks great.
All be darkness.
I'm not done with you yet. I don't need power.
The children, they were my only friends.
It's not like a full open world game, the first one, but it does have open areas and side quests that you can do if you want.
What are you doing?
So that's kind of neat.
What's the meaning of this?
You want to be my friend? Really?
You're lying! I will not be mocked if you're really my friend. You can stay here forever.
What is this bear doing?
Kotaro, get the Black Moonstone from Little Bear. We have to set things right again. Little Bear, that power is too much for you. Give it back.
Without this, I'm nothing. I'd just be me. Would you still be my friend? Pals to the bitter end? Oh, Kutaro.
And so the two moonstones were joined together, light and shadow waxing and waning in balance, the way the night sky had always meant them to.
Don't fret, one little head. You have grown to 100 times the boy you used to be. So big is your soul that your old head would hardly fit.
Quite right. Kutaro, how will we stay friends if you're going far, far away? Hush now, little bear. You have a friendship, and that is a ship that can sail anywhere. Once tight, always tight. We'll always be friends, even the goddess.
Really? I must remain impartial.
I suppose she'd rather consort with stuffed animals in her magic castle. Poor thing.
I heard that.
And so Kutaro's journey to save the moon came to a grand and joyous conclusion.
Yeah! Come back to me, Esma Potts, flower of the moon. Would that I could pluck you again. Davy Jones, take me. Me world be hellfire!
For most of the parties concerned.
Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's the end of the game, Neil. Are they on a terraformed moon? Honestly, I have no idea what this game is even about, storyline-wise. Hey, we got our original head. Thank you, Churka. Thank you, Zax. All right. So I have to do this snipping while the credits are rolling. All right, let's just do a really quick review. It won't be very long. I think this game's great. It's very similar to Little Big Planet. It's in some ways actually better. The only, I guess, disadvantages compared to Little Big Planet is this game doesn't have 4-player, but I think it might have 2-player. And there's no level creation system in this game. Other than that, it's just as good as Little Big Planet, except in some ways even better. I think like the game definitely is deeper with all the moves that it can do. I love the mechanics with you know, using the scissors. The game has a great sense of speed. I love the arts and crafts theme. The whole game is like a play. It's so colorful. And I mean, just going through these credits, you can see just how creative this game is. The only thing I would say is like the combat's a little fussy. Like snipping enemies a little fussy, but combat's not a big part of the game. Platforming is, so it's not a big deal. You get different heads, which can do different abilities. I never use those abilities. They're totally optional though, so it's not a big deal. It's a straightforward platformer without any like major puzzle solving stuff, so I never got stuck in the game. And it's a good challenge. You know, it's a challenging game. The story, it tells it in kind of a cool way. because the whole game is just one giant play. With that said, I didn't really get it. I wasn't really paying attention to it, so it wasn't anything compelling to me, I guess. But you know, it's a platformer. I mean, I don't play platformers for compelling, deep stories. So, but it does spend a lot of time with the story. It's kind of funny here and there, and it does have interesting looking characters, so it has that going for it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a very underrated title. Not a lot of people even know it exists, even people who played Little Big Planet. So yeah, if anyone is interested, I highly recommend giving it a shot. It's a PlayStation 3 exclusive, so another point for the PS3. That's all I really have to say about it. This game is done. This is a game. This game is a game. Done. Yeah, that's a quick review. Very creative, nice graphics. Really long game. Yeah, it's pretty long for a platformer. Like 10 hours long. Most 2D platformers they're lucky to be even half that. Ah, I'm glad you enjoyed watching it, Jertka. Did I finish Twilight Princess yet? No, not yet. So we're gonna go to Twilight Princess tomorrow. Hopefully, it might take 2 more streams to beat Twilight Princess, believe it or not.
Come one.
Okay.
Come all.
This game came out in 2013.
Most phenomenal, most extraordinary, most unimaginable.
But even
puppet
people who have
show
PS3s, they usually haven't heard of this game, which is a shame because it's a great game.
Full of
And
mystery,
I hope
full of danger,
this stream
and
brought
full of
some more
artistry,
awareness to the
meant
game.
astound the
I hope
eye
more people
and
learn about the
capture
game and play it.
human soul.
Alright, that's it for tonight.
The name's Professor
Tomorrow we will be streaming
Gregorius T.
Twilight
Oswald.
Princess.
But my friends, and with all friends
And after
here,
Twilight
call
Princess,
me
we're gonna move
G.
on to
Today's
Wind Waker.
fantastical tale
We might be
is
doing
the
some
perilous
streams, little
journey
streams
of a boy
on the
named
Switch.
Totoro.
Maybe Mario Kart 8, maybe Splatoon. We'll see. Yeah, so Wind Waker's probably next. As for when Ellie's not here, I'll choose another game. You know, we'll have one of those quick games on the side that we can do on those kinds of days. So, that's it for tonight. I want to thank everyone for streaming with me. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Please
Churka.
do remember to turn off
You miss
your
Nilavani's ex? I'll make sure to let her know.
Nobody least of all me wants to hear your showy ringtone.
I have been
during
talking to her.
our stupendous show.
She says she's going to come back one day. I don't know if that's legit or not, but we'll see. I told her when she comes back, we might stream like Kingdoms of Amalur. She said she would be interested in watching that. No problem, Neil. Thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, Nilavani should come back. I'll let her know that everyone misses her. Because hopefully that'll give her some motivation to come back. And then if she comes back, we'll do some Kingdoms of
For those
Amalur.
you frightened of the dark,
That sound good to
I
everyone?
recommend that you sit out
Okay.
today's performance.
So, hope to see you all again tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.
We cannot offer
Bye.
a refund.